Let me show you how I use my Fibonacci retracements to find entries long or short. I typically like to use my 50% and my 61.8%. The 61.8% is what I mostly use, and the only time I'd use the 50 is if the 50 coincides with another level, whether it's a support or resistance area or a VWAP, 200 EMA or something like that. Other than that, I usually take the 61.8. Let me just show you here. Let's put play on here. This is replay mode. You can see we made a pivot here. Let me get the Fibonacci retracements, and we'll wait till this makes a pivot on the bottom side, and we will find where we want our short entry. Since it's making new lows, we want to go short, go with the trend. Okay, let's draw this here. I'm going to pause this just for a moment. So I'm going to show you what I mean here about the 50% level. See the 50% is right here. We got VWAP just above it. If this pulls up, we're probably going to be real close. I would possibly consider taking a short at the 50 instead of the 61 just because we have that extra confluence right there. And so if I took it there, we're going to plan out our trade real quick. I took it there at the 61.8. I'm going to put my stop loss just above my 61.8 if I take it at the 50. And I'd like a 1 to 2 risk to reward. You see that's 2, so we're going to risk 41.40 to 42 or 41.42. So 2 points exactly to make 4 points if we make it. So let's just start this, see if we hit it and get our trade. I will take it right at the 50% level, right there. Okay. So you can see we are in our trade at 50, our stop loss up here. Let's see if we get profit fill. That would have hit the profit. Let me just pause that a second. And that's our number 1 winning trade. We 2 to 1, made 4 points. What I really like to see is this 61.8. So let's let this go and see what happens. If we get our 61.8, I'll take another short. But here I'm going to want, since I'm at the 61.8, I'm going to put my profit target just above that 78.6, which is also above these highs right here. So that's a great area for your stop loss. Here we got a little bit wider stop. See 41.42 to 41.45. So roughly 3 points. So let's do our 2 to 1. You want to map this out before you get into the trade so you know what you're looking for exactly. So here's our risk to reward is 2, so 2 to 1. All right, let us push play, see if we get there. Take it right at the 61. All right, and boom. We hit it here. So you can see. Pause that. Do that. So you can see here, we hit this 61.8 precisely. Very little drawdown. What is that? If we took it right there, it'd be 42.50 to, 1 tick. So very little drawdown. Hit the 61.8, came down, gave us our 2 to 1 risk to reward. So we have a second winning trade. Possibly, let me see here. We could have got a small retracement here at the bottom, possibly. If you thought this was a reversal, you could have took this one here, came down, hit the 61.8. You could have went long on. Let's put our long measurement on here. Our stop would have been just below the 61 or the 78.6, and we need a 2-to-1 risk to reward. Hang on, I got the wrong thing, boys. I need the long tool. That would make a lot more sense. All right. Okay. 2-to-1. So we have our stop just below the 78.6 for a drawdown of 41.35. Yeah, barely a 1.5. So about a 3-point move. You see it came all the way up. You could even put your take profit just at this high here. If this is reversal, lower high will probably make a new high. So you could have pushed it up here and did more like a 3-to-1 risk to reward. Move that out of our way. So as you can see, these 61.8s are fairly strong for either pullback to go long or pullback to go short. You see we had 3 legitimate trades. 61.8 came down nicely, or 50% here came down nicely, hit the 61, came down nicely again. It also could have gone long on this pullback here to go long. Let me erase some of this mess now that we've used that. And let's see if we get anything else. We're making new lows here. So, see here, we hit VWAP in the 61.8. There. Okay. Let's just go over this trade here. And see here, the VWAP was there with the 61.8. So if we gone short there, let's see where our risk to reward would have put us on a short entry. Right. Would have took it right on VWAP there, so you took it a little bit early. For our stop loss just above that 78. Let's give us 2-to-1. All right. So move this over just a bit. Okay, so yeah, it would have touched that and immediately give us our 61 or our 2-to-1 risk to reward. Now, if you would have tried a 3-to-1, a little more risky, but you could try a 3-to-1 there. Wouldn't have hit it. Just barely would have hit it there. But if not, it would have came up here. You just missed your stop, came back and took it. So you could have got 3-to-1 there. Well, let's delete that. Delete that. That out of our way. Keep making new lows. So let's just keep going through here. Let me draw a fib here. Let's see what it does to this one. All right, let's say we took that fib. Let's get our short. Our stop just above here, which is also above VWAP, so that's great. 2-to-1 risk to reward. And let's see if we get it. That one would have stopped us out. So that would have been 1 good trade, 2, 3, about 4 good trades, and a bad trade. But if you have 2-to-1 risk to reward, you would have easily made good money. Then you just pause that and go off replay mode. And we will see if we can just find some other areas here. This was today, data moves. I was watching for some areas, but nothing ever really hit. Never hit there. So basically what you're looking for is finding your pivots, waiting for it to come back to 61.8. Came back here, kind of messed around, but would have stopped us out here. It's not a good trade to go short. Not really a lot of opportunity this morning. Pre-market, there was, I think, 3 trades here pre-market from 3 o'clock on. We could go from this pivot, VWAP was here, 61.8 and the 50, so that'd been a pretty good area right on top of VWAP. Let us see once if we can get along. Entry to pay here, stop loss here. It's 2-to-1 risk to reward. The easy hit 2. See if we could have pulled 3 out of it. Yep, just barely pulled 3. 3-to-1. So let's just move that to the side, see if we can find a different one. Let's go from this pivot, since we're going long, making higher highs. We made higher highs, so we're going to look to go long again. Follow the trend. Okay, came back at the 61.8 here. So let's put our risk to reward here. Just below that 78, pull this down to a 2. Would have made our 2 to 1 risk to reward. Not quite 3. Just barely. One thing to watch is when there's multiple moves up, usually your first and second ones are going to be better. You're gonna get a little more profit out of those moves. The higher up it goes, the less buyers you're gonna have, so it's not gonna be as big of a move. So you can't expect as much. So you can keep your stops tighter and also your profit tighter. So this one, all of these would have worked with a 2-to-1. Could have got 3-to-1 out of that one. Thing with a 3-to-1, you're gonna make more profit, but you also probably have more losses. So on the losers, your win ratio isn't going to be as high as if you do 2-to-1. So those were 3 trades this morning. So yeah, hope you kind of get the idea of what I like to look for. Maybe just to recap, I will go back over where I put my stop losses and profit targets. So if you're going long, you want to find the low and the high pivots. Go from the 61.8. You want a 2-to-1. So you'll put your stop just below the 78.6 Fibonacci level, or right at it. You want 2-to-1, so just basically double your stop, and you'll have your 2-to-1. You put that up there, and that's your target profit. You don't want to be taking these early, because if you don't get 2-to-1, you're gonna have a hard time being profitable unless you got like a 80% win rate. But it's better just to let it have that 2-to-1 at least. If you want to go 3-to-1, that's up to you. As far as a short entry goes, it would be the total opposite. See if I can find a short entry to go off of here. Oops, wrong thing. So for the short entry, you want to take it right at the 61.8, and you want your stop loss just above your 78. 2-to-1 risk to reward from that point, and bingo. Now, in the case you take a 50% level that coincides with a VWAP or support and resistance area, you'll take it at the 50, stop loss just above your 61.8 with a 2-to-1. And yeah, that basically is how I find entries for long or short intraday or market open. You can use different time frames. I use the 5-minute time frame just because it seems to be a little bit more reliable. You can see there's a bunch of moves here. Let's see how this hit. Just missed the 61.8 here. Could have been a valid setup. Let's go off that pivot, go to this pivot, hit it perfectly. VWAP there would have been a great trade. Would have hit our profit. Let's see if we can keep going. Hit it perfect here, bounced. It's really nice when you have a trend day. Let's go off this one, see what happens. Hit the 50. Really not a whole lot of confluence other than maybe this high here. I probably would have waited for the 61.8, but it never got there. So that trade would have been a no-go. But hopefully this helps, and I would say just go through your charts, look back on them, and just practice drawing your fibs and your 2-to-1 risk to reward. Back test the strategy. Try it out with paper money first, or small position, and where you can see the strategy work and build your confidence up, and then you can add to your position, get a bigger position, make your profit bigger. Hopefully this helps. Thanks.